What's up, everyone, and welcome back to another week and another episode of Unfiltered Waters. And this week, we've got a special one. I know we say that every week, but it's a special one. It's happening in the middle of World Championships over in Singapore. We've just got a few days left, and I know I'm recording this before World Championships, but I know it's already been a lights out meet. And today we have the distinct honor of speaking with world record holder, Olympic gold medalist, three-time Olympian, Adam Peaty. And this is our first Team Great Britain athlete, and I have to say it was really, really special to be able to catch Adam coming off of a very successful AP Race International. He hosts these incredible clinics and meets all over the world. They're expanding like lightning, and it was cool to see just the origin story of how Adam created this with his partner, what goes into it, why it's so special, what it means to him. And then we dove into him talking a little bit about how adding the 50 in LA ignited his fire again, how he uses technology to really aid his swimming, which, as you guys know, I love the data, so I was intrigued to hear that. And, Adam has been through a lot of ups and downs in his career, and he has not shied away from speaking about it. So always great to see under the hood and talk about mental health and how you can fight through it. And I actually gleaned a lot from my own just personal journey through mental health. And then we got to hear some fun stuff. He's going on his Stag party, which for those of you who don't know is a bachelor party. He is getting married very soon to the incredible Holly Ramsey. And so he's got a lot of exciting things ahead. We talked about George, his son, which was really fun to hear his side of parenting and how he approaches it. So I could go on and on and on and on, but I'll let you guys just listen or watch the episode. So without further ado, Adam Peaty. Adam Peaty, welcome to Unfiltered Waters.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. I guess I should say good evening, although it's morning where I'm at.
Yes, yeah, it's 5 p.m. and actually we get some good sun, so it's a nice time to be in England right now.
Is it super hot and sweltering where you are as well, or not so much?
Yeah, because our houses are built to keep the heat in, and we have last year we had so much rain, but this year is really, really dry. But actually it's a good thing for us.
That's good. No, it's like 100 and it was 105 here in Nashville yesterday. And so pretty much you just don't go outside.
Yeah, I'm guessing that's 40 degrees,
right.
Celsius.
Celsius. And I have a really good friend that is from the UK, so I should know this. He's going to watch this and kill me. But yeah, I think it's I think it's almost 3x to Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think so.
Cool. Well, thanks for joining us. I have so much that I want to chat with you about. Just your story is really inspiring. I feel like you have multiple chapters to it already, and you're still super young. But I want to talk about the most recent event that I saw, which was one of your AP Race International events. Just wanted to hear, it's your third one, so just wanted to hear how you thought it went and if you thought wearing jorts and swimming a 50 breaststroke was on your bingo card ever in your life.
I wouldn't say it was on my bingo card, but we're, as a company and as an athlete and a person, I guess as well, that you're always trying to push boundaries, and for a sport that we care so much about, all of us and hopefully people listening, we've got to find new ways to kind of pioneer the sport of how it's always been perceived, how it's always been watched, how it's always been interacted, from the athletes, the coaches, the fans, and beyond. So the whole mission really for the international side of things was to create an event that athletes really look forward to in the year. And I can't really name one event other than, the championships and trials where you qualify for the, Olympics or whatever it's going to be, that I'm actually excited for, because, there's not much really going on. There's not much kind of innovation in those events. So yeah, the AP Race London International is an event where we put a huge amount of resources, money, time, energy, thinking, and always kind of improving what we did last year. So yes, this year was very, very successful. We had a big cohort of US juniors come over as well. which was incredible to host and also see how they race in the London Olympic Park, which is, I'm sure you've got loads of memories. Actually, you were 0408.
04, I know, but
sorry.
I've heard, I have so many really good friends that talk about how epic that pool is. So I'm jealous.
It's incredible. And it's 3 meters deep. It's like, there's no pool I don't think like it in the world where you just get this aura of, you walk in and you see the ceiling, you see the pool, and you dive in, and it's just so fast. But anyway, we built this event around, because we could have done it and it would have cost us half, if not, even less. But we're like, if it's our flagship event, we're going to go to London. We're going to give people the best show that they deserve in this country. And obviously, people and athletes are starting to get traction now, where they come in from abroad as well. So yeah, I mean, it was incredible. The George race went down a big hit as well. But that's the entertainment value.
Yeah.
We've got to be willing to push that side as athletes to be entertaining, because especially in America, you'll see sports like NFL, NBA. The show does it for them. The athletes only have to compete, and we'll get the Olympic Games. We've really struggled. I still believe we struggle at World Championships to have that entertainment value. But again, hopefully something is going to change at this one or the next one, and it's just about the innovation now, and really pushing the sport as a whole.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think as swim nerds, we all think kind of naturally like, oh, well, the sport's amazing, right? But for people on the outside, they're like, what? I just see people swimming up and down the pool. So adding that entertainment factor, while sometimes it may feel like, is this silly? Is this weird? Like it's a home run, because the average Joe Schmo walking down the street is like, oh, that's cool. I'll pay attention to that. And then you bring them in, and then they can start to appreciate what a world record looks like and what true excellence is. When did you know that you were going to start something like this? Because it's been 3 years now.
Probably 2021, 2022, because you've touched on it there that, especially in the American market, they go all in on the Olympics, and the same as the UK, but what's going to fill that gap?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that the AP Race London International is going to fill that gap to that extent, but at least we can do a little thing here and there. I know it's not a little thing, it's huge, but yeah. For us, it's, creating that traction and telling these stories of all of these athletes whilst we're going for that quad Olympic cycle, and trying to keep that traction and trying to keep that interest as fluid and as frictionless as possible. So that's kind of what we're doing, as a brand worldwide now. And eventually in the next 10 years, we want to have international events across the globe. So yeah, it's we are doing that, and we are addressing that. Yeah, what is a fast swimmer? What is entertaining? What is is it their personalities, or is it the racing, or is it the stroke style? Is it the strategy? Because I know what that is, but I've also done it for 20 years plus. Yeah. But we need newcomers in the sport who can really easily pick it up.
Right.
And again, you're not going to be involved in something financially or emotionally if it's not entertaining. So I think athletes have got to do a lot more to really push themselves out there.
Yeah, I mean, are you having conversations with some of your friends? Like, Chalmers was just on, and I hear you have signed his leg in a tattoo, which we'll get into. But like, imagine each kind of big name from Australia, from the US, from China, like each person. I feel like you truly are, like you said, like the pioneer of really rolling out something at this magnitude. And I know for a fact that you guys make it look easy, but the behind the scenes and the operational side must be immense. How involved are you in that? And what have you learned about yourself being this entrepreneur now?
Well, we've got I have an incredible co-founder, Ed Baxter, who does the day-to-day operations of the company, so CEO role. So he basically lives in Saudi Arabia, because we have a network of swimming academies in Saudi Arabia. We're obviously looking to expand that into multiple countries as well. And that will help support everything we do around the globe to a certain extent, but also we do the clinics. We have, I think it's 45 full-time staff members, or 47.
Wow.
It keeps changing, but around that, full-time staff members that we employ, in various countries. And, the international event, the London International event, for example, wouldn't be possible without that team, more specifically Ed Baxter, who is doing that day to day, making sure everyone's doing the right things, but also holding up the standards, of an Olympic champion, because you don't want to get to an event where there's no official. You don't want to get to an event where there's no organisation or no music or no, food or, all the tiny details. And I can't do that day to day because I'm still training.
Yeah.
And I'm sure when you're in that training zone, you don't really have much energy because you're putting absolutely everything into, whether that's the heart rate sets or the VO2 or even the A1 aerobic set. You're still thinking so much, and then you've got the gym on top of that. Then we've got our own sponsors. Then we have a family. So, you have all these responsibilities, and none of this would have been possible without the incredible team we have at AP Race. But at the same time, I'm still involved. I still do, day clinics, for example. I still go where I'm needed. But that's up to Ed to decide where I'm needed and most effective, because there's only one rule I have. If I'm going to be effective, I'll do it. If I'm not going to be effective, then it's really a struggle for me to be there. So effectiveness is a huge thing for us to make sure we have maximum impact or outputs for my time where it's needed.
Yeah, that's amazing. And you talk about better than yesterday kind of being really the theme or the kind of marking the culture of AP. Where does that come from? And then, why is it so important?
It was actually a phone call during COVID that I had with Ed, because we realised where we were going just domestically. So in the United Kingdom, we were like, okay, these clinics are really successful in terms of uptake. People want it. It's a huge gap in the market, and we deliver it the best we possibly can. And I truly believe we have the best team in the world to do that. And, the better than yesterday when we had this phone call was perfect, because you'll have kids in there, and we'll see 170 kids a day. Some tours you're doing 10 days in a row, all around the country. But realistically, even if you get 1% of those kids, even less than that, make an Olympics, that's obviously hugely successful. But what happens to the other 99%? Sport is an incredible vehicle to really educate and give kids so much more than they would have had if they didn't do sport. Learning how to goal set, learning how to win, learning how to lose, emotional intelligence, and all these incredible things that we get from sport. So yeah, it's really down to, actually, you don't have to be an Olympian to define success in sport. Success has so many definitions, and I think the better than yesterday was an incredible one for us to really say that if you come on our days and experience, I guarantee you'll take at least one thing. Hopefully multiple things, but at least one thing where you can just be a better version of yourself than you was when you woke up yesterday. And, for us, that is our marker of success. And, we're continually growing, continually pushing ourselves. Like, I think in a week and a half, we're in Malta as well. So we're starting to expand our model into Europe as well. So we're looking forward to the challenges there in terms of, the kids are obviously going to be very different, but again, if we go to America, there'll be challenges as well. But we love a challenge. We actually thrive in those challenges, and again, we still live by that motto that, okay, we're going to do this clinic the best we've ever run it. Day one kind of mentality of, this is our first time ever doing it, so don't get complacent, and also enjoy it, and give all these athletes an incredible experience that they can take away.
Yeah, I love that, because I feel like it's so simple that sometimes I think we hype things up of, like, you're starting a business or you're attacking, a season or a big meet, and you're like, you can so easily freak out. So just being like, just better than yesterday, it kind of just makes, like, even saying it can calm your nerves. So I think I really loved seeing that, because I know I could do that a little bit better, I would say, on a week-to-week basis. So you're taking the season off from racing, obviously not training. Is that correct? Did I read that right?
Yeah. So I think for me, when I finished in Paris, I was just in a place of, like, I just felt so let down with some of the decisions I made, some of the decisions that the team made. And I was just fed up, because I was like, I literally had to turn, my kind of career upside down to get to Paris in the first place, and look at, all these things that were red markers, look at the orange, look at the green markers, and really go for it. And I invested so much into that 18-month journey into the Paris Games Then I got COVID, and I didn't feel right. Obviously, I walked out. I just, when you're ill, your brain goes a little bit, I don't know, like you just don't feel like you exist.
Yeah.
And I touched the wall, and I was so happy because I was like, I couldn't have done anything different with the cards I was dealt. And that led me to going from Paris. I was like, right, that's it, I'm done. I'm literally, as soon as I walked in the door, I was like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore because it's just too much investment for something that I should have been so much greater at. The preparation was excellent. It couldn't have gone better. Yes, there was a few things where, I could have done a little bit better, but athletes are always going to think like that. And anyway, fast forward into December, I knew my current coach anyway, and he was moving to a role 20 minutes away in Repton School. And I trained for Rio 2016 in Repton School, where I broke the world record in the heats, and then I broke it again in the final. So I was familiar with their environment. It's a 25-meter pool, and there's no kind of institutionalization. So for me, that was perfect because I was accountable for every single decision and action I had. And I think that's important as a grown athlete, because you get so much given to you.
Yeah.
But I was thinking outside of the box of, okay, what's going to be the best version of myself tomorrow? What's going to be the best version of myself in a month? What's going to be the best version in a year, 3 years, 4 years? So I'm allowed to do that now, and I've actually forgot your original question because I was just going on my own trajectory there.
It's on. I mean, you actually beat me to what I was going to ask. Like, oh my God, yes. I just asking, really how you're training, but you decided after Paris that you're like, okay, I need to take a step back.
The racing element for me is like, I could be Singapore ready. I probably am pretty much nearly there. It's probably going to be a bit of a rush if I was going to go to Singapore, and I just don't want to be rushed. I'm like, I don't need to go, so why would I go? I want to go, obviously. I'd love to go to the World Championships like every other athlete, but the preparation time that I had, you can't really do a full cycle from January.
Yeah, it's hard.
Especially when you're 10 kilogram overweight. So the first objective was losing the extra weight, the extra muscle. And I've lost that weight now, and I'm really fit aerobically. I'm not race pace fit, but I've got speed. So the training's going very well, and there is a plan in place. So I go out to LA for 2 weeks in July. So whilst the Worlds are on, I should be out in LA. But that's my holiday for the year, and then I come back and we do our summer tour, the clinics. But it's just staying fit.
Yeah.
And I've got a triathlon in August.
Oh.
And then in October, I've got the World Cups in America and Canada. So there is a plan in place, and I want to get back to racing as soon as I can. But at the same time, you don't do it under a mindset of being rushed, and you don't do it under a mindset of, I need to be there, because again, that just creates anxiety, and the anxiety trickles down to everything you do and all the small things.
Yep.
So it's we are taking a year out, but again, a lot of athletes do that when they need to. The other years out I've only took are pretty much through injury or illness. So this is my first one where I'm, I'm going to sit this one out and just see how it goes.
Good for you. Just choosing it. I think that's becoming more and more of a trend. Like, you even look at Regan Smith for the U.S. in backstroke. Like, she's competing, but she took time to travel and go on holiday. And like, I think it's okay for athletes to choose to take some time after an Olympic Games. And I love that you're doing that, because I think it sets the example. Like, in my day, it was like, what's wrong with you? It's not something, but I think it creates this ability to go to 5 Olympic Games, to have longevity in the sport, because you do have time away.
I think it's funny you said that, because we're looking at, as World Aquatics, they're going to do very well off, commercially and financially if athletes stay in the sport longer, right? Because you can tell the personalities and you can sell the personalities. The longer the athletes stay in that sport, the better. And if that means taking a year off or taking a few months off and missing the championships, then so be it. Yep. Obviously, the 50 meters now are adding to the Olympic Games, so we're going to see a lot more athletes go for a lot more Olympic Games, which is great for the sport, because it's going to open so many doors to those athletes that don't have the logistics in place for a 50 meter pool or prep area. They can focus solely on sprinting, which doesn't require as much pool contact time for some people. So it's something as well in terms of a mental health thing as well, because as athletes, as I'm sure you've probably gone through it, you feel like you're missing out on life as well, because there's so much dedication. And if you don't give that life a chance, it only swings back quite aggressively, and you start to go like this, and then that is, I'm done, I quit.
Yes.
So a lot of professional athletes sit there and that choice is made for them. Whereas if we can stop them on this down bit here and go, just take a rest. It's a very long road, just take a rest, whether that's a year, whether that's a few months, and then we can go back up here instead. So I think it's only a good thing. And again, I always believe in balance. And if you're targeting greatness, balance is an incredibly hard thing to achieve, because greatness, it does come at a cost, but you can stop along the road to have a rest.
Yeah, and not start to resent the sport. Like when you're over here, you're just resenting, like the sport is taking you away from going to LA on a holiday and just like living a normal life. And then I think once you get to the normal life for a little bit, you're like, oh wait, I miss that, and it makes you kind of have that pull back, which I think is incredible. Pause for a second. Can we go to the triathlon? Is that the first length? Why'd you make this decision? Like, I'm so curious.
So it's a T100 event, Olympic standard. So 1,500 meter swim, 40K bike, and a 10K run. Okay. Because I kind of looked at, firstly, Holly's family's doing it. Holly isn't doing it. Holly's my fiance, for anyone that's listening. Yep. So her family's doing it. And I said as a joke, it'd be cool to do one day. And they were like, you should do it. I was like, oh no. But it's for charity. It's a great charity here in the UK, Great Ormond Street. So for us, it's a little bit of fun, but it's also a personal challenge for me to do something that's going to make me very uncomfortable. Like, swimmers can't really run that well because we're fighting gravity.
Especially breaststrokers. So, like, I'm knock-kneed when I run. Are you? Yeah.
I'm like, my technique has got a lot better, but it's been a lot of hard work. But I think it's good to see how other sports operate and other athletes operate, but also the most important thing for me is step out your comfort zone. I want to make sure that I step out and go, you know what, I'm gonna race the best race I can race, but also enjoy it, and take a little bit of learning from this journey of running and cycling to aid my swimming training as well, and just take that into my swimming going forward. So I may learn so much from that triathlon that I haven't learned in my 20 years of being a professional athlete as a swimmer. Yeah. So who knows? I think, you've got to continually learn and continually grow, right?
Yeah. Maybe you'll become a second sport Olympian. You never know.
Who knows?
Yeah. How pumped are you? I know you've voiced this on social, but just, do you remember the moment where you were when they announced that they were doing the 50s in LA?
Yeah, so I was in my kitchen and I got a phone call from our PD, and he gave me the heads up, and he said they may be making a decision in the next hour, about 50 meters. Then I got a few more texts from other people that I know, and I was like, okay, there's quite a few sources here. So if I was BBC, it would be a pretty strong article right now. And then literally about 45 minutes later, it was announced. And I was like, okay, this opens up another medal opportunity. But I wouldn't drop the 100, because 100 for us is, or for myself, is 3 medal opportunities. So you got the individual, the 2 relays as well. And, I've got the world record in the 50, and that world record was done whilst I was training for the 100 as well. So there's no reason why I can't do all 4 events. But, when I looked at it, I was like, okay, I said I was going to do it if the 50s were added for LA. I've got to put my money where my mouth is really now. Yeah. Because my training up to that point was, getting fit, finding the technique again, spending a lot of time deconstructing the stroke and readjusting the stroke a little bit as well. And from that moment, I was like, oh, okay, here we are. Here's the thing I was looking for. And yeah, ever since then, it's been a gradual climb to LA, really. And it will be a gradual climb now till, we race in the SoFi Stadium.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's gonna be so sick. Like SoFi Stadium,
incredible, isn't it?
I wish I was a sprinter, because I feel like there's so many athletes that are retired that swam like the 100 that are like, maybe. I mean, for the SoFi Stadium, I would give it a shot.
I don't think, and that's the thing, I think with age, I, even at 40 years old, we've seen it.
Yeah.
And there's not really much in it at all. And we know how these 50 events go. It can go either way.
Yeah.
So I think age, you've probably just added 10 years onto a lot of athletes' careers.
Yeah.
But the only thing with age is responsibilities. You know, you get married, you have kids,
Mm-hmm.
house, business, job, all this kind of stuff. So it's just making sure that those responsibilities are in check. And again, you're being effective with those responsibilities as well. So I want to see how these next few years go. Obviously, next year we've got Commonwealth Games and Europeans, which will be a nice introduction back into those championships, and then Worlds after that, and then obviously the Olympic Games.
Yeah. Well, with age comes wisdom also. So that's a nice plus on that side. What are you thinking you'll do differently with the addition of the 50 training wise? Or anything?
I don't think I would change much.
Okay.
Because I know I've got the stamina. I always have had. I've got an incredible background of aerobic capacity over the last 20 years, and that's what we train for. We always prepared for worst case scenario. Hence why when I had COVID, I was still able to get a joint silver with Nick. And if I didn't have that capacity, or I didn't do that training, then it could have been easily a 7th, 8th, or not even made the final. So I don't think in terms of the sprinting and the technique I would have to change much, because that's just a little sprinkle now and then. And I really enjoy that part of training. I really enjoy going fast. I really enjoy looking at the data and where the arms are, where the elbows are, where the head position is. But yeah, I mean, it's not much is going to change in that. We'll just obviously adjust it and make sure it's not too monotonous.
Yeah.
And keep enjoying what we do every day.
I'm really curious on the data and the technical side, and on Unfiltered Waters, we don't break down the stroke or anything like that, but it sounds like you are, from what you're saying, what I've read, just truly a student of the sport in terms of studying things. And that's where I got my confidence. I was such a data girl. I was all about the splits down to the tenths of a second. So when you say you've been deconstructing your stroke, what happens? What do you do?
Well, for me, it was always about managing the weight and the muscle, and looking at how that affects the amount of regression, I guess, on the back end 50. Front end 50 is always fine. That's my kind of bread and butter. It's quite easy to do, but it's the back end, and the data suggests if I'm overweight in terms of muscle or whatever the contributing factors are, that back end starts to really depreciate quite fast. But if actually I am, in race weight, a world record pace, that is that golden zone, and I just feel so much better on that last 25 meters, for example. So that's one data point, and then the second data point is sleep and recovery, and obviously they come in hand with the muscle and the weight, because if you don't sleep well, your mood's low, so you eat more.
Yes.
And then obviously you can't repair as fast, you can't recover as fast. So now I've actually, from February, I started wearing my Whoop, because I was like, okay, I need my HRV, I need my sleep data, I need all this data to make sure that I'm accountable to what I'm doing. And that supports it. And then we have, at QuackGB, they have this kind of dive system where you can analyze your dive, and you can zoom in 4K, where your feet are, where your head is, where your arms are. We could do race pace sets, really deconstruct it. And obviously, because we've got cameras and we've got markers, you can go, okay, this 5 meters, you were slower than the last 5 meters, for example. Yep. And this is why. So you can look at how the technique breaks down under stress. So yeah, there's a lot of data points. I try not to get too caught up on it. Like if my Whoop, I wake up sometimes, like even today, my recovery was 50%, but I was like, I can't really do much more to go to bed earlier, or eat better, or hydrate more. And that's just what it is. Like some variables you can't change some days, but actually today I had a really good training session. So you've got to take it with a pinch of salt, the data sometimes. But again, I think the best athletes in the world, it isn't about those one-offs. It's about the consistent efforts. Right. And I think if you can back up consistency, back up those values every single day, and those all those things that those margins of 1%, then you're going to be a very successful athlete in the long run.
1,000%. Are you someone that has to turn, like, do you wear your whoop all the way through a meet, or is it like you take it off?
I actually haven't raced with it yet. I
Okay.
probably wouldn't race with it. I don't think you're allowed to race with anything on. I'm not actually sure, but I probably wouldn't. I'd definitely wear it in my wear it for my sleep, wear it for every time I'm out of the water. But I do wear it every single day in training and in gym sessions, running, cycling, just to get the strain. And even strain, I'm like, some days I'm 19 or 20.
Yeah, it's high.
And that's obviously quite a lot, but I'm also like, oh, I can actually do more here. But then I'm like, okay, calm down a little bit. So yeah, I mean, I never feel it the next day. I always feel it like 2 or 3 days after or a week after if you've had high strain. And that's just, again, being an older athlete, you understand how your body works, and really listening to your body is going to be a massive contributing factor to, again, those successes.
Yeah. What's been the hardest part of leaning out? Let's say, what's your food vice?
So I went on a 3-day fast, so water only. That was pretty tough. But I came off James Guy's Stag do in Barcelona, and I was like, okay, I need to shift some weight here. So I went on a 3-day fast straight after. And then ever since then, it's been quite easy to manage. I do love my food, but at the same time, you know, I've looked at areas where I was gaining calories or having calories unnecessarily. So it was snacks.
Yeah.
So I've cut out snacks completely. We don't have snacks in the house. So I'm almost like an almond mum where I have to make a meal. And it makes it a little bit harder for me to quickly get calories, which is a good and a bad thing sometimes. But overall, it's a good thing because I'm eating proper meals. And that's just helped me lean out with, obviously, the deficit that I've been in, whether I'm training, running or cycling or swimming. So it's a gradual journey. And I think the word diet, people think diet is a temporary thing, but actually the most successful diets are diets that are easy and just frictionless and something you do every single day to a high standard. And there is, you know, moments where, you know, I do have a little of a cheat day, but not every week. I will have that just if I feel it, and then that just gives me a little bit of a buffer for getting a diet next week. So yeah, it's again, checks and balances.
Yeah, it can't be in the house. Like I don't get the people. I'll come over to their house and they have like this massive snack drawer or snack closet. I'm like, how do you have the self-control? Because if it's there, my husband and I are downing it in one night. So
honestly, Holly would hide a chocolate bar somewhere, and I guarantee I'll find it. I'm like, honestly, I'm a very good sniffer dog when it comes to chocolate. I'll find it. So I say, don't buy it.
Don't buy it. Yeah. I want to hear just briefly about, because I mentioned one of our really good friends is from the UK, and the way that you guys do, well, you guys call it the stag day or bachelor party, is so wild. Like, it's like you just humiliate the guy.
Oh yeah.
Like what?
Absolutely.
Like I felt he had to, they like sent him. He was in, literally just like a Speedo, and they sent him in Miami like down multiple stops on a bus, and he couldn't get off for like 20 stops, and then had to walk back like 5 miles. Like crazy, just awful stuff. What did you guys make James do?
Well, ours was pretty semi-tame. We didn't embarrass him on this one. I say this one. He's not hopefully going to get married again. So, but yeah, I mean, our culture is very, very different, but very similar to the American culture.
Yes.
But our humor is quite dark when it comes to things like that. So we just like to have a good time, and obviously they're getting married, and I guess the stigma is that they become responsible after that moment of marriage, or go into settled life. So I think it's one last chance to embarrass them, get them to do stuff that they want to do, and really send it, I guess.
I mean, all the payback will be back to you soon. So you had to be kind of
my stag's in November, so I don't care what I get dressed up as, because I know it's coming, so we'll see.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see. Maybe it won't make the light of social media, but if it does, I can't wait to see.
Maybe.
Well, I want to go back a little bit, because as I mentioned, you've had multiple chapters, winning gold in 2016, backing it up in Tokyo in 2021. But what I feel like is most inspirational about people's stories is the struggle, right? You've talked in depth about this, but I just want to hear more more specifically from you in those 3 years from 2021 to 2024. And you referenced a lot about, kind of chasing that feeling enough feeling, which I mean, I literally have a bracelet on my wrist saying I am enough. So I've gone through multiple struggles with that myself. So I guess when you look back on it now, where do you feel like you are with that feeling enough? And what would you say to someone who's kind of in the thick of that struggle?
I think, what would I say? I think it's very hard because it's so personal, and it depends on where that comes from, where the seed is planted.
Yeah.
And I think there's so many seeds, it could be trauma, it could be job, it could be family, it could be anything. And I think for me in those hard times, mine came from my job and just being relentlessly tired with the same stuff. Again, that's why we set up AP Races, to make sure that we don't lose athletes to that and make sure that they have a better experience in the sport. But I think, what would I say to them? You said it yourself, you are enough. But I think it's all that self-confidence and self-reassurance. And I learned, I was the interviewer for, something we did for a charity. And this woman said, basically the woman I was interviewing, she's like, I just do little head taps of, I'm okay, I'm confident, I'm happy with myself. And I think for me, if I think about happiness, I think it comes down to my values, and if I'm living by those values, because it gives me just that peace. So I can look myself in the mirror every single day and say, I'm the best father I can be. I'm the best fiance/husband I can be. I can't train harder. I can't train smarter. And every single decision I try and make is for the best of myself and the people I care for. And it's just that reassurance tap that you just need to check in sometimes, because life is overwhelming. Sometimes life throws a lot of curveballs, and it will throw, moments of chaos. But those taps help in those moments of chaos, because it just settles everything back down to what really matters, and that's you, and that is your happiness. And that's took a lot of learning for me to get to this point, because, in 2021 I finished after the shit show of COVID in this country.
Can't even imagine.
And I was just so done. I was just like, I'm so tired, just with life, and so tired with swimming. And 2022, actually, it was probably a sign. I broke my foot, and that was a 12-week recovery to make it back for the Commonwealth Games. And the 12-week was, when I saw the doctor, it was 12 weeks, and he said, 12 weeks, you can start training again. I was like, I can't do that.
Yeah, like, nope.
I've got to find fitness in 12 weeks to be race ready at the Commonwealth Games. I came away with a gold and a silver somehow. But, for me, that cost of chasing that, and then on the back of Commonwealth Games, was I'm going to go harder. I'm going to prove them the best athlete in the world, and that just burnt me out. So I was actually in Australia from Melbourne 2022 World Short Course to February 2023, and I came back and I felt myself getting a little bit ill, and I raced in Edinburgh and Switzerland, and there were just horrendous times, and I was like, I looked at the data, I was like, there's nothing really that wrong. And then now I look back, I'm like, it's because I was, excuse my language, but I was fucking tired.
Yeah.
Extremely, just every single mental energy was almost just pulling my body into this darkness that I couldn't recover. I just kept getting ill. I had tonsillitis 4 times. I had sinusitis. I had a flu, and I was racing with all this stuff.
That's crazy.
And I just couldn't fight it. Every single antibiotic my body just rejected. And, when your brain is so severely in that, semi-depression or depression or whatever it was, your body is just going to follow it.
Yeah.
So, I've learned so much through, going through that experience. And then 2023, I was like, you know what, I'm not well. So I do call it an illness. That wasn't a choice to, not race in 2023, because I was very ill in terms of my mental and my body. And then, I found a way back for Paris. But again, it's, sport and life is incredibly challenging. So there's obviously a lot of things that people can do. Walking, for example, is proven by science to alleviate, a a lot of problems for people, and just having conversations as well. So it's simple things for me now that, keep me in balance.
Yeah. Do you practice the taps ever?
When I'm in chaos mode, yeah, or life is throwing curveballs,
Yep.
I do go, actually, I had one last week where everything just kept going wrong, and I had 30 minutes to get ready. I came home from training, I was meant to be at a wedding later that day, and everything just kept going wrong. And I got in the car and I forgot things, individual items, 3 times.
Oh no.
And by the third one, I was like, I'm going to rip this car door off in a minute. So, and I don't really rise to anger that easily anymore. And I was just like, I was so angry with myself for getting angry, and then angry at the situation.
Yeah, just angry all
But
around.
then I got in the car to the wedding. I was like, hold on a minute, just self-tap and just have perspective that I'm going to a close friend's wedding. So it's going to be an incredible day. I'm driving one of my dream cars. Life is good. I've got no real worries. And most importantly, everyone I love is happy and healthy. So I think that, when you put that perspective on those taps as well, I think that really helps. And then actually I reset, and 10 minutes later, all the anger was gone, and it was a great day.
That's beautiful. I'm the same way. You go to red and kind of to that hole so quickly that it's so difficult to be like, wait. So it's like having that trigger, the physical trigger of like, hold on and do what you just did, which is like take a checklist of all the incredibly beautiful things that are going on. It's like, yeah, what in the world am I doing? Which is what I would say my husband does for me a lot. Like he's kind of like the rock and like the calm one. I'm the neurotic, explosive one. So
yes,
is that what Holly is for you?
Oh, absolutely. She gives me a tremendous amount of peace and perspective. But I think we work very well in a team, because when she is like that, I say, I'd be a perspective bearer, for example. I'd say, look, actually, this problem that you think is a problem may be a problem, but actually, when you look at the world, it's really not a problem, and we can fix it. And if you can't fix it, don't worry, because what else can you do? So I think a lot of people's anxieties stem from people trying to fix problems that they can't fix or can't do anything about. And again, we can only prepare the best we can for those eventualities, but at the same time, you got to rely on those people, whether that's your husband or your wife or close friends, family, to be those perspective bearers is incredibly important.
Yeah, I 100% agree. How did you come up with how you were going to propose to her, and what was that moment like?
Well, I rang her brother because he was going away for a few months with no phone contact. So I was like, is this a good idea? Firstly, I picked up the phone. I was like, is this a good idea? And he goes, absolutely. I can't think of anyone better. I was like, okay, that's the first one before I go to the parents. And then we're in Cornwall. So Cornwall's like the southwest of the country in England. And it's beautiful, really sunny, like nice coastlines, very quiet. And, I was like, I need 10 minutes with Gordon and Tana to go and ask them. And I asked them, and it was a very good chat for 20 minutes about everything, very emotional. And then I was either going to do it in LA when we were going out in September, or to Greece where we're going to go just us. I actually chose Greece. And I was going to do it at this restaurant I knew because I've been there before. And there was 2 restaurants, and they're only about 5 miles apart, and they had the same name, or very similar name. And I was like, I turned up to the restaurant that I booked. I was like, this is not the place that I booked at all.
Oh no!
I can't do it here. It's like one of those Mediterranean streets where it's so busy.
Yeah.
And I know Holly would hate that. I would hate that because it's not private, it's not intimate. And I was like, okay, I don't think. And I looked at this castle wall. I was like, oh, let's just follow that round, just go for a walk after dinner. And anyway, followed this castle wall round, and there's like an abandoned car, 3 chickens, 2 dead cats, dogs, stray dogs everywhere. And I was like, I can't propose in this environment. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to wave the white flag here because I'm surrendering to the environment. So I was like, you know what? We're going to go back to the hotel. And we're fortunate enough that we had, this villa with its own pool that overlooked the sea. And I just did it there. And, ever since then, we've just obviously been planning the wedding. And we've grown so much as well in that time because we live together. And, obviously the contact time we have is incredible. So, yeah, it's been good planning the wedding as well.
And the wedding is when?
December. End of December.
Okay. And where are you guys doing it in
England?
In England. Yeah. Okay. Is it a big wedding?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
it's gonna be great.
I feel like you either have brides that are super chill or super intense, and there's no middle ground. Which one is Holly?
She's intense to a certain extent about the right things, but very chilled actually.
Yeah.
She's but I'm very chilled as well. Like even at the big decisions, some of them, I'm like, you know what? Let's just go with that one. Look at option A, option B, option C. See which one we want, but we both want. And actually, I can make decisions quite fast, thankfully. So we work well as a team to prepare the wedding, but we've also got an incredible planner as well. So that does help. But again, it's kind of delegating those roles just makes it a lot easier.
Maximize the time. I also feel like our perspective, and I'm sure it sounds like the same, is just like it's about to be the best day of our lives. Like who cares what centerpieces look like or who, it's like it's about the time with every single person who loves you and everything. So
absolutely.
It's so fun. Okay, so there is a growing conversation in sports science and nutrition. Are we really feeding ourselves or just our expectations? Most supplements use cheap, poorly absorbed nutrient forms that look impressive on the label but do very little in the body. Magnesium oxide, for example, has an absorption rate of just 4% compared to over 80% from magnesium glycinate. IM8 fixes this with a single research-backed solution. Daily Ultimate Essentials. It replaces up to 16 separate products with 92 high-impact nutrients to one powerful, great-tasting drink built for absorption, not just marketing. Also, how insanely incredible is their scientific advisory board? They boast experts from NASA, the Mayo Clinic, Cedars-Sinai, and Yale. In athlete speak, give your body what it needs to perform at its highest potential, efficiently and safely. Might I add, they are NSF certified, and it doesn't hurt that it's absolutely delicious. I've not had so much more energy as of late than I have in a really, really long time. So, UW Squad, you know the drill. Use code UNFILTERED for 10% off your first order. Cheers. Okay, well, we are going to go into our power play section, which is just our rebranded rapid fire. So some kind of off the wall questions. The first question is, what is the weirdest American phrase or mannerism that you've observed?
Mannerisms. I don't know. What's the... I'm trying to think of what did he say? Oh, what is it now? It's not a very quick fire, is it?
That's okay. That's okay. Now I'm so curious of what you're thinking of.
I'm trying to think. They say it because we obviously swear a lot in England.
Yes.
But there's a word that they say.
Is it an actual swear word?
It's not a swear word, and that's why it's funny.
Oh. We can
like when you mess up something, they're like, it's not like, oh man, it's like something else.
Shoot, dang.
Yeah, it's something like that. I'm like, what is that?
You like just say it.
Fuck.
Yeah. Well, the one that I could definitely not say on here is such an intense word in America, but you guys use it so casually.
Yes, I discovered that. Yeah.
Yes. And so that one's I've heard it. And I'm like, oh my, that like shatters us. But for you guys, it's just like casual word. So I've learned that.
Yeah, you really hate that. You really hate that over there.
Yeah, like people will like if you say that, it's like for Liz, there's like a bundt cake, but it's not with a B. But basically,
well, we say see you next Tuesday if we're explaining the word.
Right, see you next Tuesday. Yeah, if you say that to someone, it's like probably the ultimate diss you could say, and you hate that person to their core. Like that's how intense it is here. So. Okay, do you have any tattoos on a wish list, or are you done?
I'm never done. I'm going to probably get my right thigh done. I'm not sure. I always decide on the day.
Oh, wow.
I have a
Okay.
few ideas, but then I always decide on the day, and then I've obviously got two sleeves, got my stomach, got
Yeah,
my leg. But I'm not sure. I think once we're married, we'll get the date, both of us somewhere,
that's cool.
and then what else will we get? Children. I've got George's initials here, George
Oh,
Anderson
that's
there.
so
So
cool.
I'll go up the thumb slash hand to get the initials of any blessings we have in the future.
I love that. Will you ever let Chalmers sign you with his signature?
Yeah, when he goes 46.4, then he can sign it.
Is that actually the deal, or did you just come up with
No,
that?
no, no, no. It is now though.
I love that. I mean, why not? If you better be careful, it might happen this summer.
Yeah, hopefully.
Okay, what word would you use if you could only use that word for the rest of your life? That's all you can say. One word.
Not see you next Tuesday. Um, ooh, what word? I'd say thank you.
I love that.
Just because I'm very big on manners, and I'm very big on manners with George, for example. But when people don't use manners, it might be a British thing, but when people don't make it's almost like that version of America with the see you next Tuesday to us.
Yes.
Like please and thank you is huge for us. So I'd say yeah, either please or thank you, but thank you goes a lot further because you can be in a foreign country and just say thank you,
Yeah.
and people would understand it and get so. Yeah, thank you's a good one.
Yeah, it's a great one. How do you, so we're in the process of trying to have a child, and my husband said the same thing. He was like, I feel like that's going to be such a pet peeve of mine when I see other people's children and they're, disruptive and, they don't have manners. How do you, what's your secret to helping George have manners?
Discipline.
Discipline.
I think
Consistent discipline?
yeah, but also as they grow, George is 4 years old now, so he's
Yeah.
getting to the age where they obviously pick it up a lot earlier, but properly at the age now where he's picking up on a lot of things that I do. So even shaking hands, eye contact, shaking hands, manners when you're even at the shops or interacting with people, they all pick it up hopefully naturally. But also that if he doesn't say, say I get him a water or a juice or whatever it's going to be, every single meal, I say make sure you say thank you to Holly if she's cooked it, or say thank you to the waiter. Say thank you to people that have served you for an experience, for example. So I think because we're so hot on it and we're so big on that, the discipline has to be quite intense, because if he doesn't say it and he goes in a strop, then we have timeout. So we'll have a 2-minute timeout, and then if he still doesn't want to say it, then it's a 5-minute timeout. So it's stuff that is very easy to implement.
Yeah.
But again, you learn with your child what works, what doesn't work,
Yeah.
because sometimes timeouts don't work for children. So maybe it's taking away their favorite toy for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Just knowing your kid. Makes sense.
Yes.
Biggest swim pet peeve.
Biggest swim pet peeve. Probably because in England, well, in the United Kingdom, we swim clockwise every lane
Yes.
for some reason.
Yes.
So when you go to international competitions, they go clockwise, anti-clockwise. And I'm like, why? Why are you doing that? Why would you want someone else's water and flow coming against you if you were in the, clockwise or whatever it's going to be? So yeah, I've never really understood that. Maybe it's just because I've been brought up in that clockwise. I won't say I have any other pet peeves around swimming. I don't think so. I don't know why that one gets to me so much, to be honest.
Well, that one is just to me a safety hazard, because
Yeah.
it's not like there's a massive blinking sign saying that that's the situation. So if you're not truly analyzing, oh, this is counterclockwise, you run into someone 1,000%.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
absolutely.
happened. It's happened. I'm sure it's
Yeah.
happened to you too. We've all learned the hard way on that one. So
Yes.
yeah. Okay, so what is the first thing that you do when you walk into the house from a long trip?
From a long trip, are we talking like the international flights or? Okay. Unpack.
Unpack.
Straight away.
Okay, like laundry, put everything away.
There's nothing worse than if you land on a Monday, than not having what you need on a Wednesday because you haven't unpacked.
Yes.
And it's just a logistically sound thing to do to make sure that you're set up for the rest of the week. because it irritates me if I don't do it and then know it's in the back of my mind. So even though it's the last thing you want to do when you get in, that is something that we always try and do.
You thank yourself the next day.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Okay, so what is something that George has done that shocked or impressed you?
Ooh, his dancing. His dancing's very good.
Wow,
He's
okay.
incredible dancer. So yeah, he's anytime any music comes on, he'll just start dancing. A lot of confidence.
Oh, I love that. And does he watch, like, does he think it's from TV or like who's he emulating?
No, like
Just
I don't
natural.
know. I mean, he watches a lot of Marvel and Disney, but I don't think they dance that much on those. So I don't know.
Just natural.
I actually don't know where he gets it from.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, I love that. I feel like I love that because it's just like kids have they don't have embarrassment. They're just being them. And I always wish like, God, could we keep that for our whole lives without, thinking about whether.
And that's why we're so big on like not embarrassing him whilst he dances.
Yes.
We actually support it as much as we can.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, last one. Have you attempted to make anything for Holly's dad, aka Gordon Ramsay?
Yeah, we did. Well, I say we. Holly did most of it. When we were in Cornwall all together as a family, we did like burrito night, so like Mexican. So yeah, that was good. But other than that, not really.
That'd be scary.
Just because he's so busy. And if we're busy or he's busy, then we'd just rather go out to eat because it's one less thing to do and prepare. Because obviously it takes a lot of time to cook a good meal, doesn't it? So
Yes.
not that much actually.
Okay. I was just thinking about that. I'm like, I am not a good cook, and I would be so intimidated to be like, try this.
No, he appreciates effort.
Okay.
It's not about talent or outputs. It's about effort.
Just
always.
about caring.
Yes.
Yep.
Exactly.
Okay, we're going to go into our final 3 questions we ask all of our guests. So the first one is, what is a moment or memory outside the sport of swimming that's brought you the most amount of joy?
I think George being born. I don't think there's something that can ever replace that. I think that for us is just us as people is one of the best moments of our lives because it's something that's instinctual, but also something that's you follow that baby in the stomach for so long, like 9 months, hopefully, give or take. But at the same time, you get to know them, and when you see them for the first time, it's just priceless.
Did you know you were going to name him George before, or did you see him and know?
Yeah,
before?
I knew it was going to be George.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, same question. So what is a moment or memory inside the sport of swimming that's brought you the most amount of joy?
Rio 2016 in the final.
Yeah.
When I touched the wall, and I knew I'd swum a good race, and it was very fast, but just walking out into that arena for my first Olympic final, and then touching the wall with Adam Peaty, with a 1 next to it and a WR, and I turn around, get on the lane rope, and there's nothing that can replace that, because that was the first one, and also that was 8 years, 10 years investment for that one moment.
Yeah.
So when that pays off to the caliber you want it to pay off, then it's incredible.
Do you remember the overriding emotion?
Relief.
Yeah.
Relief.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Relief
and
than joy, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, last question. What is a word that motivates you or inspires you or just encompasses the man you want to be?
A word. Oof. I want to say better than yesterday. I should say that. But other than that, I would say excellence. I just think of that and I'm like, we can all be excellent in our lives, whether that's micro tasks or major tasks. I don't think it's, that hard to do. We just have to do it to a good level.
Yeah.
And excellence compounds and that creates greatness. So I think for me, excellence is something that I try to live by. And yes, you don't make it every single day, but it's that journey to excellence that counts.
Yeah.
And that journey to hard work and going above and beyond that really matters.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Cool.
Amazing.
Well, Adam, thank you so much for taking the time and chatting and meeting for the first time. I always love these conversations when I actually don't know the person because then I can just genuinely get to know you. So thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you to everyone listening as well.